Lawyer. Crime Talk aficionados. My name is Scott Reich, and this is Crime Talk. It's Tuesday, which means it's our Tuesday night live program. Obviously, with the holidays and things like that, we haven't had several shows in a while. Excuse me. We just had dinner, too. We just scarfed down dinner. Excuse me. And I was in trial last week, and so we didn't do a live either. Now, every time I go to trial, I think I'll be able to do this. I'll be able to just go home and we'll go live. And unfortunately, it doesn't always work out that way. By the time I get done with trial, I'm tired. There's other things I need to take care of or want to take care of, etc. So unfortunately, I was not able to go live last week. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about the trial. It's not over yet. And since I was the defense attorney, it's not over yet. That's right. It means we lost. But that's okay. We can't win them all. We can't win them all, I assure you. If any attorney says they've never lost a case in trial, that means they haven't taken that many cases to trial, or they've never had any tough cases. My case was a very tough case that we took to trial on, some very difficult facts about things that most people just don't like to talk about, want to talk about, and just some really bad facts, so to speak. But maybe some other day we will talk about that as well, because it is still pending. I'll just say, I'll have to humbly say I lost. I wish we had won. I'm a very competitive person. I like to win. I don't like to lose. I hate losing more than I like winning. That's for sure. But you can't win them all. But we tried. We did try. So thanks for joining us. Like I said, it is a Tuesday night. Got a couple of things we're going to talk about. Obviously, the subject that gets everybody fired up, your friend and mine, just kidding, Luigi Mangione. All right. You know, the Ivy League student who is been charged with murder of the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson. Some of these things just crack me up. We talk about this case, and I would have to say that if we took a general poll from just the comments, I would say most people are in support of Luigi Mangione, which, remember, don't forget, he is accused of literally in cold blood shooting the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, in the back, whereupon, obviously the CEO died. And I get it. Insurance companies are evil. I don't like insurance companies. They take your money. They try not to pay when they can. And I get it. They can be evil. They have some evil people working for them. But I don't think we as a society should go around saying it's okay to shoot people in the back. But maybe we could bring back duels, something like that, walk 10 paces out, turn and shoot. Maybe that could solve those type of things. At least you'd have mutual combatants in that particular situation. But I think it is interesting to see the reaction. Some people are like, Luigi Mangione is a hero. He should be sent home. The healthcare system sucks. Insurance companies suck. Free Luigi. If you go through our comment sections, it is crazy how many people are all about freeing Luigi. So maybe we should do this in honor. Frank, why don't we run is Luigi guilty or not guilty combo? We have one for each. Go ahead and play it, and we'll be right back. Is he guilty or is he innocent or not guilty? we talked about this a little bit. I believe that this is one of those cases where Luigi Mangione, I mean, I hate to say, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm good for it. I'm always for the underdog, so to speak. He could win. And I really do mean that he could win. The potential jurors, would have to keep their opinions to themselves and say, oh, I would be fair and impartial. I would listen to the evidence and follow the evidence that is presented to me. I believe I can be fair and impartial. And say, Luigi Mangione, who, you probably want to purge all of your postings saying free Luigi, so somebody can't, bring them back, so to speak, and use it against you to say you lied to get on the jury. But this is one of those cases where I haven't seen a case where people have felt that strongly about it. And don't get me wrong. Is it a jury nullification type of thing? Yes. But remember, the defense can't argue for jury nullification. They can't even mention the word jury nullification. So you have to come up with some other defense where people say, yeah, that's it. The prosecution just didn't prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. How do they do that? Identity. It wasn't him. He's been framed. That's not him. Look at his eyebrows. It couldn't be the same guy. If you look at the eyebrows in the photos shortly after he was, arrested versus, the person in the photos that they, said, this is the person we're looking for. Clearly not the same person. And a juror could say reasonable doubt. And now let me tell you why I think even the prosecution believes that it could be a tough case. Now, I think they overcharged it. I really do. I think the whole terrorism thing was a little extreme. They should have just charged it as they did in the indictment instead of including counts 1 and 2, saying that there was terrorism, that he was there to influence some public body, but that just stick with the old second-degree murder, right? Just keep it simple. That's what I would have done if I was the prosecutor in the case. But the reason why I think the prosecution could be just a little bit worried, is if it was going to the feds first. Now, remember, he is technically in primary federal custody. The feds got him there. They're going to writ him out, send him on a writ of habeas corpus ad prosecutatum to get him from the federal system down to the state court system, but they're going to let him do that. But he's in primary federal custody. And usually when you're in primary federal custody, the feds go first. But let me tell you a dirty little secret about the feds, okay? The federal system has a 98% conviction rate. Most of the cases are a result of a guilty plea, hence the 98%. I've won lots of trials over the years in federal court. It's not impossible. But this is a case that the feds don't like to take first. Why? Because it's not all wrapped up nice and pretty with a bow on top as of yet. And if they were to proceed immediately and Luigi Mangione were to demand his rights, from date of arrest, he should have a trial within roughly 70 days of being arrested and indicted, and boom, go there. But the feds like everything wrapped up nice and pretty with a bow on top. All right. General rule. The feds also get first crack at most cases. If it involves a gun, the feds take a look at it and say, is this a slam dunk for us? Can we take it to federal court? Let's have it. We'll take first shot at it. I was having this conversation with a judge and a prosecutor just the other day. Why was this case not a federal case? Judge really didn't know. Judge had never really done criminal until he became a judge. And, everybody explained to the judge that, judge, if it were nice and pretty with a bow wrapped on top and no issues, it would go federal. But if there's issues and the investigation is not complete, like it is in the Luigi Mangione case, right? From the time of the shooting to the time that Mangione gets arrested, I think it was 7-8 days, something to that effect. Not a whole lot of time. The feds like to move slowly, methodically. And if, you're on their side, so to speak, they just never seem to get those charges filed. And, oh, man, you just come up right on the statute of limitations. But state's got to move quickly, right? Something happens in state court. Oh, my gosh, there's a dead body. We can't just leave it there. Guess we better work on it, solve who did it. And they're under a lot more constraints. I guarantee you, although the feds, he's in primary federal custody, and they're going to prosecute him for, the murder as well. The state's getting him first. Usually when you're in federal custody, the feds don't want to let you go for the state case. They want to keep you. So that is one of the reasons why I think that, Luigi Mangione, he's got a shot. Now, let's be realistic. Part of my job as an attorney is I have to be realistic, right? If I was advising Luigi Mangione, I'd say, Luigi, here's the problem. It looks like you confessed. Your DNA is, we got the bullets, the delay, deny, depose. We've got the bullets. I think there was some DNA evidence that came back. I think somebody said, no, that's not right. But I thought they were working on DNA. They got the photographs. They got his little manifesto. Not good facts, right? A couple of good things. One of the things is, they got to prove identity. They got to prove that it was Luigi Mangione that did this, not somebody that looked like Luigi, not somebody wearing the same coat as Luigi, right? Remember, shortly afterwards, people dressed up as Luigi Mangione. They had the same jacket and they put on masks and they walked around, New York City to somehow support Luigi Mangione. Yeah. Wouldn't that be funny if all of his supporters showed up in Luigi Mangione jackets and masks and bushy eyebrows? Could be interesting, could it not? So we got to be realistic, though. This murder, unless that's what it is, it's a murder, right? Clearly, Brian Thompson is dead. His wife, children, no longer have a husband and father because he is dead. The man didn't know he was going to die that day, had never met Luigi Mangione, but gets gunned down allegedly by Luigi Mangione. That's murder. What defense is there? There's not self-defense. He shot him in the back. There's no duress, unless you can say that's really not me. The alibi, who's going to be your alibi witness, kind of looks like him. Some people would say it looks like him. He got caught with what is to be the murder weapon, this ghost gun. We brought you the story about the how he got all the pieces online to create this ghost gun. The manifesto, bad fact, right? Apparently the gun on him. Now you can try to do your lawyer stuff, but at the end of the day, let's face it, those are some really bad facts. But I still think it's one of those cases where I hate to say, don't get me wrong. Every time you go to court, you got no better than a 50-50 shot if you're a defendant, maybe even less. But Luigi Mangione may have a shot. I don't think I have seen anything like this. We started doing our podcast, our web show here during the Chris Watts days. And although a lot of people were obviously quite convinced that he was innocent, it turned out to be the complete opposite of that because he pled guilty to it to remove himself from the death penalty, even though everybody knew there wasn't going to be a death penalty very much longer in Colorado. But needless to say, he pled guilty to every count, got multiple life sentences and moved on. But then he got a fan club. Now, old Luigi Mangione, a little younger, no kids, that he killed. This guy is already getting letters. He's got a fan club. There's a GoFundMe page. Not that I think they need a GoFundMe page to pay for his fancy highfalutin lawyers out there in New York, who just also happen to be representing Michael Jackson. Can you imagine those two cases? They just wake up in the morning, turn the timer on, Work on P. Diddy's case, work on Luigi's case, turn it off when they go to bed. Probably talking a good 12, 14 hours of billable time every day. Probably charging $1,000, $2,000 an hour in New York attorney time. I know it's crazy, but I've seen it. I've seen it in New York as high as $5,000 an hour. Good work if you can get it. Good work if you can get it for sure. But I'm sure they are just gonna bill the heck out of old P. Did he do it? And Luigi Mangione's family for sure. But hey, his attorney, former prosecutor, just recently went to the defense side. Her husband's been a defense attorney for a while, but was a former prosecutor. We'll see what magic. We'll see what kind of magic you think you can bring in. Okay, William, let's talk about this. I see this thing. All right. Well, let's see what they're going to bring in. Okay. William Atwell, are we not going to talk about the fact that United Healthcare denied a claim just days ago to a woman in the ICU with a brain bleed and a heart failure while in coma, and her claim was denied? If it's the same one I'm thinking about, I think I saw the doctor put up a video, something to the effect that this is what was taking place. And frankly, I have no reason to doubt that. Insurance companies are, for the most part, not good people. Okay. I'm sure there's some good people that work there. But like I said, my experience with insurance companies has been very mixed. Personally, I haven't had to use a whole lot of insurance, but when I have had to use it, if it's a small claim, it's no big deal. But if it's something of significance, obviously they try to deny it. They try to claim that, you were at fault. Did you do this? Did you do that? You feel like you're the guilty person if somebody steals something from you. I can tell you my office does some personal injury work. The attorneys that do that work, it makes your head explode some days. Some days they'll say, we'll offer you policy limits and that's it. Other days they're going to fight you over the smallest amount of in money to be paid out. And I get that. That's their job. That's how they make money. That is how insurance companies make money. It is gambling. Insurance companies, it's gambling. They're saying, we're going to take a bet. We're going to assess our risks. We're going to take the bet that you're going to pay us and that we're not going to have to pay you back. And then we'll start all over again when that policy expires, and we'll see if we'll take that bet. And if they don't like that bet, then they can not do it. And they've always got all the clauses and what have you, is why we're not going to pay, how we're going to diminish, your amount of recovery. They all do it. So yeah, it is a, insurance company is a racket. They're not in the business though of trying to pay claims. I mean, they'll pay what they have to, they understand, but their goal is to make a profit. And if they have to make too many payments to claimants, then yes, there's not going to be, any money for them. So they have to do that. And that's what they do. And that's why they deny it. And you'll find some attorney that will say, we're going to deny this claim, because everybody gets a bonus by the amount of money that they don't pay out on claims. It's just the way it is. It's just, it is, insurance companies, it's good to have insurance. And when they pay, it's good to have them. But, oftentimes they're not going to pay. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Insurance companies suck, right? When has your insurance premium ever gone down, right? Think about it. They always go to the state legislatures, and the insurance companies ask for, if you give us this insurance reform, your policies will go down. Let me see by a show of hands, how many people have ever had their insurance premium go down? Yep. That's what I thought. Show of hands. I see none. But all they want to do is cap liability. And I get it. If you're in business or if you're getting sued, you want to cap your liability. You want to cap your exposure. But it rarely ever results in lower monies for the person making the claims. Heck, look at what took place in California. And I don't claim to be an expert in insurance law, but all states said, hey, we're not going to, we're going to cancel or not renew these particular policies. Now, I don't know if these people, apparently there's some emergency fund that has maybe like $1 billion, but I think they're talking like $150 billion in recovery. Most insurance companies don't have an extra $150 billion. Maybe Berkshire Hathaway, and they own a lot. I think they have like 300 billion cash on hand, but that's not all for their, any claims or anything along those lines. So most of those insurance companies, they have to pay out, they may wind up going bankrupt and all this anyway. And who's going to wind up paying for it? Probably the taxpayer. Or somebody may say, well, that's all we've got. Sorry, we can't do it. Sucks being you. Should have built a house, not of sticks, but of cement. I don't know. The point is the Natalie Victoria, I sleep like a baby. I don't know if that in regards to crime pit. Wow, this is people are getting fired up here. The richest country in the world, yet we don't have a national health care coverage. It's a damn slap in the face. They don't care about us. Fat Nano, FATNANO, is your handle there. Hey, I've said this before, and I will say it again. Ladies and gentlemen, do not expect anybody to take care of you. Certainly do not expect the government to take care of you. No corporation is going to take care of you out of the goodness of their heart. At the end of the day, you are on your own. You have to be able to take care of yourself. You have to be self-sufficient and reliant because, look, just take a look at LA. And the job of the government was to make sure that when something like this happened, that they were semi-prepared for it. Maybe at least to slow it down, maybe to prevent some of the loss. They didn't. It was miserable, right? Look at North Carolina. Hurricane weather moves through there. The rains come, it floods, kills everybody, wipes out, tens of thousands of homes, if not hundreds of thousands of homes. And the government says, hey, we can get you that $700. $700. Wow. Yeah. But in the meantime, there's $34 trillion in debt. They're sending another couple billion here and there to foreign wars, all those types of things. But yet when it comes down to it, yeah, they don't care about us. So the sooner you come to that realization, probably the better. Okay. That's just the way it is. Let's see here. I see a Luigi Patreon. Do you know what that says, Frank? Spero que su liberty in grando. Luigi.
Okay, he says Luigi is a patriot.
Luigi is a patriot.
He will make America great again at his own way. I hope he will be free and become a great leader.
Okay, so Adriano says Luigi is a patriot. He's going to make America great again in his own way, and he hopes that he's set free and becomes a great leader. Now, is that Spanish or is that Italian?
That's Portuguese.
Portuguese. Okay. See, good thing we know. Frank. How many languages do you speak, Frank? 3, 5?
3.
3.
2.5.
2.5. A little bit of Portuguese, Spanish, and English. Yeah. So thanks. See, look at that. There we go. Worldwide, people are saying, free Luigi. Free Luigi. Let's do a poll. We did. What was the results?
59% guilty, 22% not guilty, 19% not sure.
Okay, so 59, 19, or 22 and 19. Okay. Yeah, I get it. See, look, Adriano, support from Luigi from Brazil. I'll support Luigi. Yeah. As something about world functions. This is Powell. It's quite sad. It's quite sad that most Americans who never traveled anywhere in the world don't even understand how the civilized modern world functions. It's like explaining quantum mechanics to a caveman. Hey, we've been called worse as Americans. I get it. I don't know. Hey, if I had all the simple answers, I don't know. I'm just telling you, I just think, unfortunately, at the end of the day, every time I think that, you expect the government to do the right thing, they don't. Every time you expect them to come through in some sort of natural disaster or some sort of cataclysmic event, they don't. And then everybody else winds up paying for it. So I get it, but you can't go around, doing it, but this person, I hate violence, but it seems to be the only thing that gets the attention. I mean, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong because, heck, United Healthcare put out a statement after Luigi Mangione had, allegedly shot Brian Thompson, their CEO, that says, hey, we know the system is broken. We know it sucks, but that's our system. And unless somebody else is going to fix it, what are you going to do? Unfortunately, I guess there is not an unlimited pot of money. And so people need to decide where, or their representatives need to decide based upon what the people want, where they're going to spend their money and how, because there is not an unlimited pot. You cannot spend it on every pet project you would always like. It's a tough decision. So Sally thinks he's going to get 6 years. I think it may stay a little bit longer. Scott 5 says he's a punk. I hope he's not. I don't know. Could he be talking about me or Luigi? Somebody here. I'm from Poland, and I support Luigi. Do you support his message or do you support his actions to get his message out? Probably the greater issue there, right? Adriano says he'll get a couple months in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure. Yeah, and P. Diddy, we talked about this. Did he do it? Did he? He's mad that, he's taking all P. Diddy's attention away. Listen, I would think, in all honesty, we can talk about P. Diddy for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, P. Diddy probably would like to crawl under a rock right now, and people who probably hope that they never knew his name. Who was the guy that went down for all the underage child sex? The singer. He was charged in Chicago and New York. Why can't I think of his name off the top of my? Yeah, R. Kelly, right? Famous, money, went down hard. Somebody suggested we ask the Magic 8 Ball. We asked the Magic 8 Ball about Luigi Mangione. Then we can talk about other things as well. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's ask the Magic 8 Ball. Magic 8 Ball. For those who don't know, right? We may have people that haven't been here before. We've been doing the Magic 8 Ball for quite a while. We usually do it on our Patreon show, right? Everybody knows the Magic 8 Ball. It's got the liquid inside. The one I have was given to me years ago, probably at least 25 years ago. It's kind of dried up, the water inside. We bought another little one over the years that you push the button and it spins. But we finally got old school Magic 8 Ball, blue water inside, ask the question, spin it around. All great questions in life can be answered by the Magic 8 Ball. Should we go to trial on this case where the client confessed? There's DNA evidence and it's on video. What say you, Magic 8 Ball, right? And the Magic 8 Ball says it is certain. Go to trial, right? Unreasonable client. It's usually the clients that have a great case that don't want to go to trial, and the clients that have a crappy case turn down a very good deal and insist on going to trial because they want the world to know the truth, even though the truth doesn't necessarily matter to the facts of the case. But anyway, Magic 8 Ball. Scott, you're not supposed to shake them. Oh, Callie, I didn't know that. I thought you were to get it to shake because the water's in there. All right, Magic 8 Ball. Will Luigi Mangione be found innocent at trial in state court in New York? Oh, Magic 8 Ball says, don't count on it. Oh, not guilty. Don't count on it. I think it's coming. Yeah, not good. I don't know if you can see that there. It says, don't count on it. That looks like it flipped. We can ask it again. We'll have to wait and see, but we'll have to wait and see. Sally, I can see why you have people running around. Let's see here. Let's see. Scott, you just had your 50th birthday and you need to hit the treadmill if you want to hit the 60. Ouch. Ouch. I've actually lost some weight there, Sally. Jeez. Ouch. Tough crowd tonight. All right. Gustavo says, I can't see why you can't have people running around gunning others, but after watching a lot of testimonies about the UHC and other insurance company, it is truly criminal how many lives they have ruined. We'll have to wait and see. I get it. I mean, like I said, insurance companies are horrible. Wouldn't it be nice if you could go down there and somebody, provides poor customer service and you just be able to go down and, do terrible things to them? We probably don't want that as a civilized society. Let's be honest with you. I get it. I don't think it's mitigating. I think a judge is going to look at that. And so, yeah, he is, we'll just have to wait and see, so to speak, what takes place with old Luigi. But I don't think it's going to turn out very, very well at all. Adrian, even in Brazil, we have free healthcare for all. I don't know. Is it a good healthcare system in Brazil? I don't know. I don't know. I think America's got a pretty good healthcare system. That's why a lot of people come here. I've heard of people going to Mexico to get things done. Sometimes it works out great. Sometimes it doesn't. Heard of people going to Turkey. Sometimes it works out good. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. But those are usually elective type things and you're paying for it. The bottom line is, insurance companies, sometimes the policy is great. Sometimes the policy sucks. But it's better to have it than not have it. And, you just have to remember it's going to be tough. Liz W. here says, expensive shopping center hired private firefighters taking a company out of Mesa Gateway Airport. They flew out yesterday. Yeah, I mean, that's what you can do. That's what you can do. Yeah. At the end of the day, insurance companies aren't going to protect you. Insurance companies are going to pay you if they have to. They're not doing it because they like to. That's not how they make money. Here we go. Kelly Dime. All insurance companies are about the mighty dollar. Look at the fire insurance LA. The prices was insane amounts. Now they're canceling people. Hey, you got the same thing here. My homeowners insurance went up significantly here in the state of Colorado because insurance companies is nothing more than spreading the loss, right? If we have a big enough pool of people, we know we're going to have to pay enough money, going to have to pay money, but hopefully don't have to pay out more than what we brought in. But like I said, it's betting. The problem is, I mean, you catch is you got to have insurance, right? You have to have insurance to drive a car. You have to have insurance before you can get license plates. You got to show proof of it. So they mandate that you get insurance. They mandate that you're supposed to get health insurance, right? But if you're young and healthy, why should you have to get like this fancy plan when you're probably not going to need it? You're going to need it when you're older. Well, the more you use it, the more expensive it's going to be. I mean, there's no real easy answer for it. The reality of it is somebody is going to have to pay for it. Callie says $7,500 a month for fire insurance is insane. I totally agree. That is a ton of money for fire insurance, particularly for a month. But that's the way the insurance companies are pricing it at. And the problem is, if you want to have a mortgage, and I'm assuming most of those people had mortgages, maybe they're all rich and they paid off all their homes. But if they had a mortgage, the mortgage company says, well, we want you're required to have insurance on that home. I mean, unless you're pulling in, $700, $800, $900, $1 million a year, $7,500 a month just for fire insurance before you pay the mortgage, before you, put gas in the car, food on the table. I mean, that's some serious dough, right? So what can you do? I don't know. I do not know. But at the end of the day, you gotta be able to take care of yourself. And you have to assume the insurance companies are going to try to screw you over. I know you don't like to hear it, but I have no reason not to say the truth. Okay. Bottom line. Next, let's talk about a couple of other cases that are going on right now. Obviously, we've got the Lori Vallow case, which is ongoing down in Arizona as well. To kind of switch gears, I bet you Lori Vallow wishes that she was in California or Hawaii dealing with fires, but she's not. She's down there in Maricopa County, where she is being charged with the death of her former husband, Charles Vallow, after, of course, she has been convicted of murdering her fifth husband's wife, Tammy Daybell, as well as her two children, JJ and Ty Lee. And now she's proceeding pro se after 2 extensive stints of incompetency. As you may recall, in Idaho, she was found to be incompetent for a period of some 10 months. She was finally restored to competency, demanded to go to trial. The prosecution had failed to turn over items in a prompt manner, and the court, as a sanction, threw out the death penalty as it relates to Lori Vallow. Well, Lori Vallow gets convicted. Her husband, Chad Daybell, goes to trial, also gets convicted, but gets sentenced to death for committing 3 murders. But Lori Vallow says, hey, you've got 3 murders on you. I've got 3. Let me go back and take care and see if I can get number 4 for being responsible for the death of Charles Vallow, her ex-husband, whereupon, she is being charged with conspiracy because her brother, who's now also dead, shot Charles Vallow back in July of 2019. Alex Cox said it was self-defense. So like I said, she's been charged with conspiracy to commit murder in the case, suggesting that she had orchestrated Charles Vallow's death for insurance money. Now, Charles Vallow's parents, the Woodcocks, no, that's not right. The Woodcocks are not. They're JJ's grandparents, but they knew Charles. They're not related to him necessarily, but anyway, the Woodcocks kept on the case, pushing everything, also brought everything out. Well, Lori Vallow had a motion. She thinks that this is one big conspiracy because, well, that's what she thinks. Just like, the whole world was going to come to an end, and that's why they had to collect all these people, and the kids had all this dead energy and all that weird, crazy, nonsensical stuff, that they were some sort of special witch power or whatever, right? They were the chosen ones. Well, now she's just paranoid. She's paranoid and she wants all the information regarding discovery of extradition. Of course, the prosecution says we've turned over everything that we have. And extradition is not a lengthy process in the sense that it takes a whole lot. You say, hey, this person's committed a crime. You put a warrant out for their arrest. If you know where the person is, you send a governor's warrant where the governor says, hey, I am going to send you this fancy piece of paper with a seal on it that says, I am the governor. Say, take this to your governor in the other state. And, you'll see that it's official and we want this person to come back. And, you can fight extradition. It's not really that tough. They, just have to prove it's the same person. And then you get back to the new state and you pay the cost of transportation to get you there. Right. That's it. Oh, I'm sorry. So, yeah. Charles is uh, sorry. That's right. Charles was Kay's brother. The Woodcocks. Yeah. And, probably the case against Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell probably would not have been pursued if we're not for a lay and carry Larry and Kay's actions to keep the case kind of going and the pressure on and going to the media. But anyway, jumping back to the extradition, it's a simple process, but she thinks there's some conspiracy because she wanted to know all the discovery. It's a couple of emails. Hey, we're going to get her. No, we're going to get her. We'll wait till this case is over. Maybe we won't bring her back if she gets, a life sentence. Well, maybe we will. We'll prosecute her anyway, right? I'm sure that's been turned over. And even if it wasn't, what relevance is that to the defendant? What does it prove as it relates to the elements of conspiracy to commit murder? Nothing. It wouldn't be admissible in court. However, out of an abundance of caution, the judge should say, you know what? If you have it, prosecutor, and you haven't turned it over yet, just give her everything so there's no issues down the road. That's what I would do as a judge. But I'd say, understand that this has no relevance in court. I'm going to give it to you. But if, we're not going into your extradition down to Maricopa County in Arizona, so don't even think about asking any questions related to that in your trial. But it is the case that just won't go away. It is going to continue forever and forever and forever. There's no doubt in my mind. So yeah, we'll have to continue to watch that one as well. Let's check the comments here in a second. And then obviously we also have the, why can't I get this to go back here? To the Karen Reed case. Now, Karen Reed is also on trial. We talked about her case today. I think her stuff is falling apart. I really do. See everybody. Oh, Kay's here. JJ's mom was my son's girlfriend's child. Okay, we scratch that. Okay. All right. Case has gone on so long, people forget. So Kay Woodcock, see, listen here. Look, we've got Kay and Kay and Larry, but Kay has gone on so long, people forget how it started. February 2025, 6 years for us. Yep. Yeah. Kay then says, JJ mom was my son's girlfriend's child. Okay. And she says, scratch that. Sorry. JJ's mother was Mandy. My son is Todd. They had JJ. Okay. All right. It does get confusing. And yeah, I apologize. I mean, yeah, this case has gone on for 6 years since all this started. But thanks for clarifying that, Kay. Really appreciate that. And I know Larry said hi to Larry, but you all been on the show. And then she passed due to substance abuse issues. which is unfortunate, but oftentimes reality of life. And so, did Laura have anything to do with JJ's mother's? No. Okay. Yeah. And so, like I said, the Lori Vallow case will go on and on and on. But Kay and Larry Woodcock, I truly believe, and I've said this before, and I've told them that I don't think that case probably would have been pursued with such vigor if it weren't for those two trying to find out exactly what happened to JJ and as well as Ty Lee, because they didn't go away. I think they attended, if not all court appearances, nearly all of them. And they were there throughout the entire process. Scott, Kay wants to know, Scott, will we see you in April? That is the plan. That is the plan, to get down there for the trial. Yes. That is the plan. We will go down at some point and go check out the trial. I'm assuming it will be live stream, but I'd still like to go see it. We went out to the trial of Lori Vallow. Didn't go for Chad, just, well, because Crime Talk 1 was down, but Crime Talk 1 is back. But although I got the bill for that, I may have to work a lot more just to get that paid off. But anyway, yeah, we met Scott back in CrimeCon back in 2023, back in Vegas. Yep, we had a good time, great conversation. Yep, Court TV will have it. We'll air it as well, and we'll try to do it. Yeah, yeah, we'll do that as well. So it's going to be an interesting case, and nobody should minimize it, thinking, well, she's already got a life sentence. If the evidence proves that there was a conspiracy between herself and Alex Cox, jury should find her guilty. If they don't prove the case, they should find her not guilty, but I think they will. And as she's doing herself no favors by representing herself. She has advisory counsel. I'm going to say Lori Vallow has advisory counsel. Her advisory counsel was at the motions hearing the other day and was basically saying, yeah, Judge, I'll help out, even though that's beyond the scope, right? We talked about this a little bit. Advisory counsel is supposed to be there to answer questions of, how do I get a piece of evidence introduced? How do I go about filing this? But that advisory counsel is not their little gopher. And at any point, Lori Vallow could say, Judge, can I have my advisory counsel take over? Because this is really hard. Because a lot of people want to play a lawyer, and then they realize, oh my gosh, this is a lot more difficult than it appears on TV. I mean, you appear on TV, you just show up and you state your case, and you get to talk to the jury as you're cross-examining witnesses. And well, that's not the case at all. And when somebody proceeds pro se, like Lori Vallow is, they're held to the same standard as a practicing attorney. The judge is not supposed to help them out, assist them in any way with trying to get evidence admitted, asking the proper form of a question. Procedurally, that's what the advisory counsel is there to do, but advisory counsel won't be sitting at a counsel table at trial, or shouldn't be. They should be sitting back along the bar there, just kind of sitting there saying, my God, I'm so glad this is not me trying this case. Yep, this woman is failing miserably. So yeah, it's going to get super, super ugly for Lori Vallow. I do believe in this process, but everybody thinks they can play a lawyer, and they're going to go out there and do it. We'll just have to wait and see. And where it's going to get really tricky is, these admissions, right? They got these, I think there's text messages, as I recall, okay, I'm leaving now, going to the, it kind of seems like it was a setup job, right? Charles comes over, Alex is there, confrontation ensues. he's dead. She happens to be driving up. Oh my, what's going on? But, not very concerned. Her soon-to-be ex-husband is deceased, but not really upset about it. And I understand, they were on the fritz, on the outs, but it doesn't make sense. And then you got all the subsequent, conversations that the insurance policy from Charles had been changed to K to take care of JJ. Because obviously, spidey senses for Charles Vallow were tingling. And so that's truly it. I mean, it was not a good, he obviously didn't have a good feeling, knew something wasn't right. This guy was an athlete. He supposedly attacked, Alex Cox with a bat. I think people said he would have taken his head off. That simply wasn't the case. Ultimately, the cops thought it was suspicious, but they didn't arrest anybody right away. And, obviously they come to the determination once they figure out, my God, this woman is like a black widow. Everyone around her winds up dead, that they finally kind of got off their butts and looked into it and ultimately, got, charged, So it's going to be interesting. Trials in April. She's proceeding pro se. Excuse my French, but it's got shit show written all over it. This judge that seems to be Judge Beresky, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I hope I am. Beresky, Beresky. Nope, I take that. Judge Beresky. Anyway, he seems to have control of his courtroom. He's hopefully not going to let it turn into too much of a travesty of a mockery of a sham by her representing herself. She has a right to do that. She is a fool for a client, and she is not probably not advised to do that in any way. So, Sue, Charles was very smart to change the beneficiary, and I think that will be the most damning evidence against her. Is that she was like, well, I tried to change it and it wasn't there, and that's going to be really, really bad for her, right? How many times do we say it here in Crime Talk, ladies and gentlemen? It's always about the money. And when they say it's not about the money, then you really know it's about the money. It's just the way it is. Yeah. Let's see here. I think Debbie says, I don't think she's just looking for her 15 minutes of fame. I don't disagree with that. I mean, she's doing she's never getting out of prison as it relates to her convictions in the state of Idaho. I would be very, very surprised if that gets reversed. The evidence is pretty overwhelming. And even if they found that there was some error, it would be harmless, is my guess. The attorneys, I think, I could have been doing more vigorous cross-examination that they did, and I didn't even have all the discovery. The reality of it is Kay agrees with me. You got it. It is. It's the whole thing. And it seems to be, and maybe I'm just, I'm a simple man, but I notice trends, right? Is everything about Lori Vallow's life is a shit show. Everything about her life. I mean, this woman, from what I know, never met the woman personally in my life. But everything that I know and everything I see about her is everything is just a shit show. Just the way it is, right? She loves chaos. And it seems like she loves to stir up and instigate chaos. And she loves the chaos, and she loves the attention that comes with the chaos. Everything about her life indicates chaos. Kay also, she has nothing left to lose. I agree. This is quick story. I had a client once. I was appointed to represent him in federal court. He and a couple of his buddies were charged with submitting false tax bills to the government, asking for and getting refunds. And these guys were kind of the instigators to it, these two guys. My guy was the muscle. And so these guys get indicted for submitting all these false claims. And my client was in state custody. And I kid you not, this guy was the nicest sweet talker you've ever seen. Nicest guy in the world, right? Little would you have known that he had beaten 2 death penalty cases. Okay? 2. Anyway, he's brought in for the muscle. They called him in as a witness. And the guy that was testifying against the people that were the ringleaders, they're like, hey, that's the guy. And so my client and the other 2 guys go over and they beat this guy up in the holding cell, in the marshal's holding cell, and beat him up. It's all on video, right? And this was like, 15 years ago. It was on crappy video, but it was still on video. And they're not willing to do it. But my guy's like on literally a multiple life sentences, beat 2 death penalty cases, both in the state of Colorado and 1 in the state of Kentucky, and still has, I think, sentences in Florida and South Carolina hanging out there, right? And I remember we go to trial, and I'm like, client seemed like a nice enough guy. Why are we going to trial, man? Why are we going to trial? And he's like, I got nothing to lose. And then he said, and I'll never forget it, and the court reporter is very attractive. And I'm in prison. I'm never getting out of prison. If I can just simply be in a courtroom, this is like a vacation to me. Literally what he said. That's a vacation to me. So we go to trial. We promptly lose. I remember we go to the 10th Circuit. First question from one of the judges' mouths when I was up there arguing for the, sir, you seem to mention at sentencing that this was somewhat academic. Right? Sentencing, because he's never going to serve that sentence. He's serving multiple state life sentences. He's never even going to serve it. I'm like, well, the client wants his appeal. We get him an appeal. What can I tell but that's the way it is. So I think that's what Lori Vallow is looking for, is if she's in the courtroom, she gets to do her hair. She gets to be seen on TV. She gets her 15 minutes of fame yet again. Kay Woodcock, she wants to go down in a blaze of glory. Once trial is over, she will be forgotten. I can't wait to forget her. So tired of our wins being scraped back open, our wounds being scraped back open every year for 3 trials. I get it, Kay. I'm sorry, but I think I remember when I told you and Larry when we met, you got to be patient. You got to be patient. It's going to suck. They're going to come up with every reason to delay, but be patient and you will get justice. You've got justice on 2 of the 3 cases. You'll get it on the 3rd. I do truly believe so. So, we'll see. Yeah. And then Kay, 4 of 23, Chad 424, Arizona 425. She's screwed for sure. Yep. Listen, she will go down. She will be convicted. There's no reason to doubt that. She's not going to win against experienced prosecutors. It's simply not going to happen at all. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. But thank you, Kay. Thank you for clarifying when my brain freeze. Couldn't remember the exact relationship. But yes, I appreciate that as well. Once again, my heart goes out to you and Larry. And like I said, those cases probably wouldn't have gone forward. I think they would have just gotten buried or, we're working on it. We don't think we can prove it. But it was Kay and Larry Woodcock that kept the feet to the fire of those prosecutors. Because I remember one of those first court appearances, she was brought back and it was these ticky-tack charges of child abandonment or something. It was like they didn't seem like they were taking it too seriously. That's for sure. So, like I said, I think Kay and Larry were the ones that did that because they were trying to get contact with their grandson, JJ. So we'll see. It'll be over soon. It'll be over soon, Kay. It really will. It will. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we didn't get to do our unboxing. All right, that's right. We didn't get to all the cases either, but we'll have to save that for next time. It makes you reason to go back. But once again, all right, we did this a couple weeks ago. All right, for the longest time, remember, this is not paid anything. It's just something that I get in the mail. We get a box, okay? And of course, you need something to open the box with. So we just happen to have the trusty handy dandy K-bar that I just happened to pick up when I was, in the Marines. I think this is back in 88, 89 when I purchased this bad boy. Now, I probably can't take it out of the sheath and have you see it because it's live. And Google, YouTube will say that is too scary. So what I'll do is I won't show you me cutting the tape on the box. All right. People really like this. So here we go. This is our battle box. All right. Like I said, this is not paid. This is just something that I've been getting forever. Every month I get what they call a battle box. All right. And it's like the pro or the premium package. Right. And every month I get something. Let me see where it's taped up here. All right. Yeah. And you never know what you're going to get. I'm not going to lie. Some months is really cool stuff. Other months, not so cool. All right. And most of it's kind of like for outdoor campy stuff. Like one time I got a really cool sleeping bag. Sometimes you get really, really cool stuff. Sometimes it's kind of lame. Now this is kind of exciting because this is a big box for the start of January. Now I thought I cut that, but apparently I did not. Let's see. Must be something wrong here. What am I missing here? Jeez. Yeah, there it is. More tape over here, but I can't let you see the blade because you never know what could I do to myself on live TV, and Google would have a fit and shut us down, demonetize us, etc. Now, I was also looking through, as I do sometimes when I look for the stats before we go live, just because it's kind of curious, I just see how we've grown over the years. We just hit 70 million views, ladies and gentlemen. 70 million views. Can you believe that? All right, we're opening the battle box. All right. Ooh, let's see here. Let's see what we got. The first thing we got is a eco-minded goods. It's a duffel backpack. Ooh, look at that. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is item number 1 from the battle box. All right, it's a duffel backpack. Throw stuff in, obviously, as needed, right? Looks like it's kind of heavy duty for outdoors. Never know. Looks like you pack all kinds of stuff. I'll pack all kinds of stuff in that. There you go. Or we'll probably take it to the hangar and just see what I got here. What do we have here? Outdoor mosquito repellent and camp light. Look at that. Who would have thought? Who knew? Who knew? And this is the thing about these battle boxes. Half the stuff, maybe 3/4 of the stuff that I now have from the battle boxes, I didn't even know that I needed it. For example, here, a FlexTail outdoor mosquito repellent and camping light. Who knew? But it apparently charges up and you can screw it on like a little stand. And it is apparently a light. It lights up. Look at that. It lights up. And also mosquito repellent. I wonder if it like zaps them or something. I don't know. Who knew that I needed that? I didn't know that I needed that, but now that I have it, I know that I needed one. Thank you, BattleBox. What have we got here? Opinel, Savoy, France. Ooh, it's some sort of knife. It looks like it is a knife of some type, like a pocket knife, old school pocket knife, made in France. Opinel, Savoy, France. Look at that. I won't open it up because you know how it is. Google doesn't know what you could do. It could suddenly attack me. All right, now it looks like we got a mug of some type, precisely crafted, lightweight. It's like an aluminum mug, lightweight. You can carry it with you. So if I want to drink out of it, I guess we can pour it in there, right? Yeah, probably should have rinsed that out before I did that. Oh, we got a book, The Total Outdoorsman Manual. How to camp, fish, hunt, and survive. Look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. All in the battle box. And we got our knife. We got our insect repellent. And then we have something really, really big here. And this looks like, oh, this must be the cup holder so you can hang it on perhaps your duffel bag that came with it. Let's see, what is this? Competition style knife. They're big on knives. You can never have enough knives. Ask the lovely Miss Kristen. We have knives coming out of everywhere. Ooh, look at this. Oh, we love knives. Yes, we do. What's that? What's that scene from Crocodile Dundee from years ago? You know, they show up with a little K-bar and they're like, oh, that's not a knife. This is a knife. Look at that bad boy. Wow. Ooh, yeah, that's like a knife. So I got two knives, a duffel bag, a lantern. You can't go wrong with this stuff. Look at that knife, ladies and gentlemen, right? When it comes down to it, just like we talked about early on, you have to be able to take care of yourself. And so when all this stuff stacks up in your garage or your airplane hangar and everybody thinks you're nuts, except when, you know, something happens and they're like, hey, you know, I was wondering if I could borrow some of that stuff that you got there. You could say, oh, yeah, you can come by and take a look at it. And you say, may I interest you in a lantern mosquito repellent thing or a book on how to survive? Look, different types of birds, how to shoot, bow and arrow, how to fish, how to canoe, how to clean out a big old fish, paddling into the wind, turning a duck mount. Oh, look at this. Different types of fishing gear that you're going to need. Harvesting nature's bait shop, where to look for stuff for fish. I know it's true crime, ladies and gentlemen, but when the world goes primitive and all hell breaks loose, like Denver, did you hear about the flight attendant?
Yeah.
Did you hear about the flight attendant in Denver? She's 71 years old, been with American Airlines for like 30 years, 40 years maybe. She's on a layover. She goes down and we have some guy that stabs 4 people, 2 die. The flight attendant gets her throat slashed, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, the guy's like homeless and mentally ill, and they wonder why nobody goes downtown, right? That's why everybody needs to carry a big old knife like this to protect yourself. Anyway, the Ghost Killer Bowie knife goes for $89.99 alone. Exactly. There you go. This is the Jim. Is this what it is called? Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, just and that stuff doesn't even necessarily make our news, right? But it should. Somebody goes around stabbing people in downtown Denver, completely random. But this guy did it all, stabbed 4 different people like within less than an hour and a half. Absolutely terrible, terrible, terrible. And like I said, this flight attendant, they moved everybody out of downtown. And my daughter-in-law is a flight attendant. And when she last came to town, they put her in a hotel just a block from the 16th Street Mall, which is turned to complete garbage, dangerous. So just really hits. You just never know, ladies and gentlemen. You got to be able to take care of yourself. You know, the police aren't going to be there except for help to, you know, put the put the chalk around you. That is it. Have a good whip. All right. That's all we have for tonight. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for hearing me. Let me open the battle box here as well. We'll see you next time. If you're a Patreon member, we'll be with you in just a few minutes, and we'll go from there. Real quick, Peter. Hey, Scott, what do you feel about the Alphabet Spooks movie headquarters to the Wicked Horse Airport? It's all weird, and they're trying to capitalize on it to keep it funny, but it's an ugly blue horse out there. It looks like it's on meth. They refer to it as the meth horse out at the airport. All right. We'll see you all at the Patreon show. If you haven't become a Patreon, check the link down below. You can get access to it, and you join us there in about 5 minutes. Thanks for watching. And remember, the Constitution matters.